Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared Naidu. Welcome back to the Capital GPT podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest all the way from Hollywood. David. David is an actor known very much into the commercial space in acting. He's done acting in recently the Kissing Booth 2. He's done a bunch of other acting gigs, working with the likes of Jennifer Anderson and a bunch of other big Hollywood actors. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, David.
Thank you, Jared. Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah. We've got connected through Jeremiah, right? And Jeremiah and Jenna.
Yes.
And yeah, awesome. And I really appreciate him putting us in contact. And when he was talking about you and describing you were so enthusiastic about the crypto space. And I think that's why he was like, oh, cool, let's try and get David onto your podcast because he's very much has a lot of things to say about the crypto space, investing space. Um, Talk me through how you went from then being a actor, then a commercial actor, and then being so passionate about crypto. What started that?
Um, I think crypto was it's really just become a hobby, really. It's never
Yes.
was kind of like it wasn't an either or. I was, very lucky. I grew up in LA and my dad was an attorney, and when he died, there was some stocks, left for me. So I inherited some stocks, or I guess equities people call them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I've been in South Africa about 12 years now, and God, I guess okay, about 4 years now. I was living in Stanford. I bought like this 6 bedroom designer home in Stanford. It was just
Yes,
like amazing.
yes,
And I just kind of hit the wall, and it was sort of, well, before I sold it, I said, I've got this house payment, but I've got all these equities,
yes.
in the States. And I confess I'm kind of a YouTube junkie. So, and then I usually believe a lot of what I hear. And
Right.
at that time, everybody was like, the dollar's going to crash, the sky is falling, dollar's crashing. So, you know what? Let me like cash out my equities, pay off my house. So I own my house.
Right.
And then that's kind of what happened. Then I sold the house. So then I had a savings account with ABSA. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
a couple of my buddies started talking about, Bitcoin and the crypto stuff. I first heard about Bitcoin probably like uh, 2020, 2021, something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so, and I really didn't know what it was. And I'm still going to ask you a lot of novice questions
Yes.
because I don't really even know what blockchain technology is. You know what I mean?
Okay. Perfect.
So, but anyways, so these guys were talking about big. I was trying to analogize it. I'm thinking about starting my own little crypto channel,
Yeah.
but I want to do a channel for retired people, and I can't come up with like a clever name. Is it like the crypto retiree village, or
Yes.
what's a good name? Because I think there's a lot of people. I just turned 70, and there's a lot of people that are 50, 60 that don't really. My sister's afraid of it. Like she's
Yeah.
75 and she got out of stocks, and she finally retired. So she's got a chunk of change just like sitting in a bank in America, which pays no interest. I mean, at least here in ABSA, you can get almost 9% interest, in
Yeah.
your savings. The States is terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm with an app called Wise, which is a really nice money transferring app. And
Yeah.
even with Wise, if you have a savings account, you can get like 3.9%
It's still
with
tough.
Wise. But
Yeah.
like I'm with Bank of America in the States, I don't even think it pays 1% for your savings.
Yeah.
So now my sister's got, a couple hundred grand sitting there with earning nothing, and she's kind of afraid of, I don't know why she's afraid of getting back into stocks.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, why don't you like try some crypto? And so I finally got her to buy $3,000 worth of XRP,
Nice.
and it was right during that long consolidation period. So like
Okay.
nothing was
Perfect.
happening, kind of going, I think she paid, I don't know what she paid, maybe 250, or not $3 a share, but it was down. It was stuck at like 220
Yes.
forever.
Yes.
So I was kind of like in the doghouse because I gave him some bad advice, and then it finally, it's gone back up to 260 and all time high. So anyway, so now their 3 grand went to 4 grand, and I'm like going, like, now it's time to invest more.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing that, like, like it's moving, guys. Like I think the hard part for me, Jared, is like I hear all of these channels, right? And everybody's like, the train is leaving the station, folks.
Uh,
This is the biggest opportunity of wealth
yes,
in the history of man, and it's generational wealth, and
yes,
it's right now, 2025, between now and December, is the bull market, and
yes,
you better get on board, And like,
yes,
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like going, yeah, I think from every indicator that I can read or decipher, yeah, I think it's true, and I'm all in,
mhm,
and I'm a little scared to tell other people with 1,000% conviction, like you need to be in too. But at the same time, they're family, and I don't want them to miss the boat.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Actually have a name idea. Like you were talking about ideas for your channel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something
Go, go,
along the
go.
lines of like retired crypto head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a retired crypto head, which is someone that's retired, but then at the same time very much knowledgeable of crypto or want to talk about crypto. So, but again, you can ask ChatGPT to like play around and give you like 10 suggestions along.
My buddy did that. My buddy did that for me, and they came up. ChatGPT came up with crypto boomer,
Oh,
and then my
that's
friend,
solid
and then
actually.
my friend added fearless at 70 or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually solid.
But but I don't know if boomer. Does everybody know? Do seniors even know what a boomer is? Like to
Oh,
me, like
yeah. Boom is
I
born
know
in
it's that
generation.
generation. We're baby
Yeah,
boomers, right?
yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
was born after World War II.
exactly.
Husbands came home. Everybody had kids. So so I guess crypto boomer. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I guess I was just thinking that it had to have like retiree or retired or senior, but that's kind of all boring. So
Yeah, have fun with
what
it.
did you say again? You said crypto something something?
It's a retired crypto head.
Retire crypto head.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't mind it.
not a bad idea.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Write in the comments below, everybody. If you
Yes,
have an idea,
100%.
then
Give us an idea as
write in
to,
the comments below.
yeah.
What are you? Let me ask you. Like, I guess we're kind of cutting to the chase here, but like,
Yeah.
what's in your bag? Like, how many horses do you have in your little stable? Are you like a one horse guy, or do you have 20 or 100, or
So,
how do you sort of play it? Like large caps, middle cap, small cap?
so I'm all over this space, right? I'm 25 right now, right? So I'm 25 years old. I've been in the investing space for a bit. I've been introduced to the crypto space within my dad, where he's just someone just told him just buy Bitcoin. Like I don't know how, but he just bought it at very low, maybe like 2013 or so, and then he sold like
Oh
2017.
wow, 2013.
Yeah, but like 2017, he's kind
Guy,
of
that was like when it was invented.
yeah. So 2017, he sold, unfortunately, uh, but getting exposed
Oh,
to
he
it.
did.
Yeah. Um, and then getting exposed to it at that time, and then later on, friends around me exposed me to XRP when XRP kind of doubled and stuff. Um, so got to expose there, and then I got into then I started dabbling into the crypto space, right? And I basically bought a bunch of Dogecoin when Dogecoin was trending. I bought a bunch of Cardano. I bought a bunch of XRP. I wasn't big on Bitcoin at the time because I was like, it's so pricey already. Like there's not much of growth. Looking back, I was like, no, you should have. But at that particular point, I'm still figuring out stocks, investments, Bitcoin. But the best thing you could do if you're trying to get into the crypto or stock space is to just get involved and you have to figure it out because you have money in the market, right? You're gonna learn,
Yeah.
take time and effort to learn. So my Dogecoin hasn't come back to my break-even point. It's just still uh uh but now I'm very big on Bitcoin. I'm not sure if you read the Bitcoin Standard, where it's kind of the author talks about Bitcoin, how Bitcoin will then be revolutionized as everyone will be using Bitcoin as payments eventually because it is decentralized. And then you have decentralized, which is and then centralized. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but decentralized is basically not no one controls the particular Bitcoin, right? Whereas if you look at Ethereum, everyone knows who's the founder and CEO of Ethereum, right? So if they want to control the person, control the particular Ethereum coin, they could manipulate it. But with Bitcoin, it's because it's decentralized and no one really knows who the owner is. And then there's also a bunch of Bitcoin that is just stacked away, that person just holding it. And if that person sells it, then it could be a whole different conversation. But uh,
Okay.
yeah, so that's why Bitcoin's very big on the future. I'm still very bullish with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin
Did
would
you
go,
get into Bitcoin now? Have you finally,
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
you bought Bitcoin now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So Bitcoin's I'm very bullish on it in the long run. I think Bitcoin would double in the next 5 years or so. Because if you look at statistics, they've been doubling maybe so gold doubles every 5 years, right? If you look at gold history, gold doubles every 5 years. And then Bitcoin's a bit better than that, right? At the moment. And because it's been so new, maybe it will come to the same standard as gold or slightly higher. But basically what I would recommend people do, and this is with stocks and investments, whatever, is average into Bitcoin. So every single month, put money into Bitcoin. As people would average into the S&P 500, I would say average into Bitcoin. I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than any other cryptocurrency, right? So you would have XRP, you would have your Solana, you'll have your stable coins, right? Which is definitely the stable coins is definitely the future. But in regards to making money with stable coins, there's not necessarily any because it's stuck to the US dollar, right? So you'll have
Right. Yeah. No, stable coins isn't that,
so you're not
that
gonna
I
make
think
money
stable
with
coins is really, I think that's just for digital transfers. I mean, it's just going to
yeah,
be easier to pay with stable coin.
easier to
And the
pay.
other thing that's nice about stablecoin, I'll get into my story about Coinbase freezing my account for like, 6 months and what a nightmare that was. But what I learned was with stablecoin like USDC or USDT, I think as
Yes,
well.
yes,
So let's say I own like a whole Bitcoin. Okay, let's say I'm a whole coiner. Okay,
yes.
at one point I was. I'm not any longer. So let's say I own a whole Bitcoin, and now if I want to move off my exchange, or if I want to, which I did move, I left Coinbase, and now I'm on Luno and Valor, and I've got a Trust
Yeah.
wallet. I want to talk about wallets and all of that different storage.
Not a
But the
big
thing
fan of
about the stable
Luno,
coins,
but
if you sell your Bitcoin or your crypto into stablecoin, it's non-taxable. It's
yeah,
not it's not like selling it, like moving it back into your bank. So
100%.
you can so the USDC and USDT, it's really wonderful that you can like sell something, park it in your USDC and your stable
Yes.
coin, and then when you get to a new exchange, you want to try something new, then you buy more Bitcoin, and you don't have to start over your tax status,
Yeah.
and that stable coin doesn't get taxed. So that's
Yes.
great. I mean, I
That's
thought that was
perfect.
awesome.
Yeah, so I've been to a bunch of different crypto conventions, and they're very bullish on the stablecoin because stablecoin will then introduce the adoption into crypto in regards to payments and
Right.
so that type of stuff. So that's why stablecoins will be the future in regards to usage. But then as in regards to investments and other like XRP is there for like banks and contracts, right? So I think it's still bullish. There's a lot of people that's very anti XRP, but then you have some very few people that are very bullish in XRP. Um, and I do believe it'll go up. I do believe it'll go up. I believe all crypto will go up, right? It's just at different points. And I think it's longevity wise with crypto, it's the usage, right? How would it be used? Because you'll have some really useless coins that are out there. There's tons of useless coins, right? Especially meme coins. So it's not going to be in the long run. It'll just be there and be used. But the ones that it's same like as a company you're investing into, right? As a stock, a US stock you're buying into. If you're buying into Apple, you're buying into Apple because you know the company is going to be there in the long run, and people are buying iPhones and iPads, etc. So the same thing. If you're seeing the demand for people going into Bitcoin and XRP and Solana, then that's it. You know, Solana was going up because a lot of people were making um, meme coins on the exchange. You know, so there's a usage for it. So I'm very big on that. You were talking about Coinbase. So Coinbase froze your account. What happened there?
Okay. Um, well, I have one more follow-up question. So in your portfolio, do you still have equities and crypto, or are you
Yes.
in stocks, out of stocks, both?
Both.
50/50? Like what's your balance?
To be honest, it's more stocks, right, than crypto.
Okay. Okay, so you're in, but you're not all in. You like your stocks.
So I like my stocks. I do like crypto, right? I do see crypto coming back to a better buy opportunity. Hence why I'll wait for that. And then when I get a better buy opportunity, I'll put more into crypto. And that's basically where I am. But again, like if I was smarter, I would have averaged into crypto, right? Um, but you learn these things over time and you're like, "Flip, if I just averaged in every month, I would have been set."
Right, right.
But
But
you
see,
learn,
you're what is you're 25, right?
yes, yes,
So at 25, you're happy if you have a stock that's paying like 12% or
yes, 100%.
ish. So I'm 70. I want 12x. I don't want 12%. I want 12x. So
100%.
I don't have time for
Yes.
stocks. Like I need to get rich quick.
Well, there's leverage, right? So there's certain stocks you could leverage if you really want to get into that. So like I was explaining to you, I think on WhatsApp we were talking about leveraging. It's
Yeah,
based.
can you explain that again for me, please? Because
Sure.
I just saw another thing on Valor about leveraging futures, and it seemed like my I've got a gal pal in Germany that was the one that said, "Yeah, I'm going to leverage this," but then the next day she said, "Okay, it was done," but like, can you do it for one day, or like,
Yes.
how does it work?
So yeah, perfect. So let's use the example of the easy one. Let's use XRP, right?
Yeah,
So
XRP,
XRP is easiest to go through. Let's just use easy numbers like $10, right? So let's say
right?
XRP is $10 currently, right? And you want to buy into XRP, you're buying for um let's say $1,000, right? So you're buying into that, you're buying for $1,000. Now, if XRP goes up, let's say 5%, right? XRP goes up 5%, your originally, if you're doing spot, which is just buying into XRP and leaving it there, right? Without leverage, your portfolio will go up 5%. But now if you're leveraging and if the leverage is 1 to 5, then your profit is then 5% times 5, which is then 25%. So instead of you getting a 5% return, you're getting a 25% return. But then the only problem is that it's the opposite as well. So if your stock goes down 5%, it'll go down times 5, 25%, minus 25%. So
Oh,
it's more risk, but at the same time more reward if you genuinely believe at that point you'll make it. But the big risk
but
with
how long do you leave it in for? Like, is it typically
until
like a day or a week or? You
um
just kind of pick like you just want to get it on the way up, right?
Yeah, so it depends, right? Because so when it comes to me investing and trading, I look at the charts, right? So I look at the technical side. So there's fundamental, which is in your news and what's going on with Trump, with Elon Musk, what's going on with all these different things. But there's the technical side, which is your candles, right? Your the I think I'm not sure if you've seen the chart, right? So you could time the market because generally there's there's a pattern that happens within any stock, any crypto. So you'll have a very much it's different indicators, right? So you'll have a indicator like a RSI, which if it's below a certain number, so you'll have a RSI, which is, let's say, let's just give it an indicator. You'll have starting from 0 and they're going all up to about, let's say, 70, right? So if the RSI says it's between um 0 and 20, that means that that particular stock or crypto is then undervalued, right? And then the other way, if it's like between 50 and 70, it means that it's kind of like overbought.
Okay.
So you have small indicators like that, but then you take that
Okay, and
indicator
that's called RSI.
RSI. So you'll take that
Okay.
indicator, then you'll also take you looking at the chart and you say, so there's other things within like the technical side, right? Which is you'll have things like order blocks. So if you look at the 1 day uh, time frame of the chart, right? It's generally that'll give you the direction for maybe that week or for that month of what's going to happen with that stock. So that trade could potentially, I think I should just show you, right? I think that'll be easy.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I think
Could you make a living as a trader? Do you make a living as a trader?
yeah, so I trade as well, right? So that's why it allows me, because when I trade, I also it allows me to make better decisions or timing the market when it comes to stocks. And that's why I really like and about trading in stocks, right? So I'll share screen and I think it'll be very helpful for everyone as well. Okay. So if we look here, right, this is the Bitcoin chart, right? You can see my screen, right?
Okay.
Okay. So this is
Yeah,
the
I see it. Yeah,
Bitcoin.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is the Bitcoin chart, right? This is the 1 day chart. So what we can look at is this particular, what's a good example? Um, okay, you can see I've done some drawings and stuff here. But let's look here, right? So sometimes let's go for our, I think for our help us with bigger decisions. So these charts generally, like if you don't necessarily know, it doesn't make that big of a difference. Like for the average person, it's fine to average in on a trade, right? Like I said. But if you want to time the market, that also helps. I don't know what I drew there. But for example, what could happen is you'll have a thing called an order block, right? So I'm gonna draw a price range. So generally like this zone. So oh, let's draw to there, right? Because I think there's an order block there. So I'll zoom in there. So so let's just say this is an order block, right? Um, which means an order block is basically a zone where the price could tap into, right? So we know for let's example, the price is here now, right? It's at $111,000 dollars Bitcoin. Now we know that this is kind of a demand zone. A demand zone is basically we know that at this price we've seen the price push up, right? So if we've seen the price push up at this particular point, it's basically saying that from that point it may retest that point. So you'll see that the market go up and down, comes down all the way to 100,000, pushes back up to 109, and then eventually pushes back into the demand zone. Now, when we see the demand zone, we could then see an engulfing candle, right? Which is this is kind of trading supply and demand if you're looking at it, right? So um, supply and demand, it basically this is a big candle, right? Which shows a big push from 98,000 all the way up to 100,000, right? It kind of engulfed this candle. It overtook this previous candle, right? And from that we can see that it's bullish from there. So if we bought at 101,000, we'll then see a big spike up into okay then 122,000, right? So that's what I'm saying when it comes to timing the market. So for
Right.
so for me currently, if I were to looking for a next demand zone, I would look for 111,000, right? Because at this particular
Okay.
point, that's when the market pushed up. So what
Okay.
I would do is I would draw up a demand zone, right? And then I could have an alert set. I said put alert there. Bitcoin, I want Bitcoin to come. Whenever Bitcoin comes to this point, I don't have to look at the chart every day. I'll get an email, I'll get an SMS, or I'll get a message saying Bitcoin is at this price, and then you could look for an entry there. So instead of me buying,
Okay. So you're going to get into it once it gets into that new demand zone.
exactly.
Okay.
So now if you future trading. Now, if you're future trading, the best thing I would say to do is you'll trade to your previous high. So your previous high is 111,000, right? So if you entered at 100,000, you exit at 110,000. Let's play it safer, right? So that basically is a 10%, right? So if you hold that trade all the way from 100,000 to then 110,000, that's 10%. But if you leveraged and you in for 1:5, you're making 50% returns.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's your exit strategy. You trade to the previous high, even though you know it's going to go higher, but at the same time, you have a risk factor of it going below your entry. So you don't hold a trade longer than you should.
I wonder how many people have gone broke leveraging.
Tons of people have because
It
they don't
sounds
have.
like dopamine, you know. It sounds like something I can get addicted to.
It is. If you don't know what you're doing, it can really much get get into it. Um, yeah, we spoke a lot about crypto. We spoke about your intentions with crypto. You're very bullish on long term, right? Uh, what's your bag? Are you holding Bitcoin? Are you holding XRP?
Yeah, so when I st- when so my first guy was really just about Bitcoin, and that was, actually, to be fair, that was, I think, I might even been 2019,
Right.
20. So because I had buddies that like they were gonna buy, my one friend, he was gonna buy a bunch of Bitcoin if it came back down to say like 6,000, and it came down to like 6.5 or something, and he didn't buy, and
Yeah.
then he always regretted it that he didn't, that he didn't get in when he could have.
Yes.
Um, but it wasn't until probably 2 years ago is when I really got serious. And I go to Signal Church, and
Yes.
there's a guy there named David who's he's an older chap, and
Yes.
he's been a bit of a mentor for me.
Nice.
And so he was like really hardcore. He's like, look, he goes, it's Bitcoin, it's XRP, it's XLM, it's Cardano, it's Solana, and that was pretty much like it. Those were like his blue chip, the big five.
Yes.
And so, and then I have this crazy pastor friend of mine who said the Lord told him to get into Shiba Inu. So he's like,
Okay.
all these crazy Christians, and I'm one of them. They're all into Shiba Inu, and so am I. But I don't know what Shiba does or like where that's going. But anyway,
Oh, I actually
so I
also
have some
Shiba. Eh?
Shiba.
I hold some Shiba.
What's that going?
I
Do you
also
have
own.
any Shiba?
I just
It's like
have
a
it.
secret code.
I just have it.
So
Yeah.
so so I was so I still have, I think I think back in 2020, say, my first purchase was actually Ethereum,
Okay.
and then I sold that. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything. And then I never really got back into Ethereum. I don't know why. I'm kind of like, it's just not that sexy to me. I don't know
So
why.
do you know that Shiba Inu is built on Ethereum?
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But
so as Ethereum goes, Shiba goes, kind
because
of.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're
I mean,
not
Shiba has so far to go. I mean,
that's the
so
thing.
anyway, I really, I love, I love that XRP is going to replace Swift. Like, I can see the value of
Yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really understand like Shibarium, or I don't know. Like, maybe my next question is, can you just explain briefly like what blockchain technology is? I don't really know conceptually like how
Okay.
it works.
Uh, okay, perfect. Um, actually, this is teaching in So I worked for this financial company a while back, and I still partner with them a lot. And we basically go into high schools and we basically teach the financial literacy aspect of just the basics of taxes, investments, stocks, and then we introduce the crypto aspect. So I did like a whole talk with thing of like how to what is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is I hope I don't butcher this, but Bitcoin is basically a network, right, of different uh chains, right? So the way Bitcoin works is you'll have basically different networks, right? So let's say you'll have one here, you'll have one there, you'll have one here, and you'll have one there, right? So what it basically does is um, at one particular point, what one particular let's say a computer, right? So at one computer, there'll be a certain key code or a algorithm on this side, and then this one will interact with the bottom one, and all four of them will interact, right? But at the same time, not one whole Bitcoin cannot live on one particular network, right? It needs to all interact within each other. So what that means is that um, all different networks that holds Bitcoin in a sense are basically interacting with each other. So it'll be very difficult for someone to like steal Bitcoin, right? Because it's all interacting with each different blockchain, right? So this so in order for to make one, let's say one Bitcoin, right? All four blockchains needs to be interacting with each other in order to form that. So what that mean what why that's necessary is because it's decentralized, it's not focused. It's like money's not in one particular, let's say for analogy wise, a bank account, right? It's just stored, money is stored into one account. Someone comes in and steals it, it's gone, right? But now if someone breaks into one network, it needs to break into all the networks in order for you to steal that particular thing. And that's why
I
like,
see.
you know what I'm saying? So it's that's why like the blockchain is so like good and it's the future. Uh because it'll be very difficult for you to hack and code and do that to steal Bitcoin. Obviously, there's scams where people will ask you for your code and your access, and if you give them those stuff, then you can then be scammed. But in an overall sense of trying to hack into your wallet, it's practically impossible. And
But
that's what
what does stellar lumens do? What is XLM?
I actually don't invest into XLM that much, so I'm not too sure what it is. Uh,
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just sort of like, because I own stuff, I don't really know what it does. I
yes,
just know that people talk about it. And even like the new horses I'm getting into, like I think I messaged you about My Lovely Planet.
yes,
So My Lovely Planet is the same guys that did Candy Crush,
okay,
and it's been doing like 12 to 20% like daily, and
what?
it's still kind of a penny stock. You can get it for like 30 cents a share. It's called MLC is the symbol for
Right.
My Lovely Planet, and you have to be on a certain exchange to find it. But I've got some good news on the exchanges. I think I might have sent you. There's three exchanges. There's this one guy I found. I finally there's like maybe a half a dozen guys I listen to. Of course, I listen to George on Cryptos or Us.
Yes.
Hello, I'm George. We're all George. The Chinese guy, the Chinese American guy.
Yeah. So you were telling us about the My Lovely Planet.
I can get into the Coinbase story if you like.
I'm
The
actually interested.
Coinbase,
I'm actually interested in this My Lovely Planet quickly because you're saying it's going up every 20% every single day. That's actually insane.
I mean, right now the big ones for me is HBAR, Ondo, Algorand,
Yes.
and MLC, My Lovely Planet.
You're right.
Like those four have just been really strong. I mean, at least
Yeah.
maybe not today or yesterday, but like this week,
Yes.
they were all really kicking. And
Okay.
the thing with My Lovely Planet, so I follow this guy, House of Crypto. His name's Peter Kroc or Peter Fro or something.
Right.
He just strikes me as a super intelligent guy. And we only have whatever filters we have on deciding whether people are smart or not.
Yeah.
But I like him because I don't think he's much hype. I just think he's really smart.
Nice.
And so he's into the larger cap, middle cap, and the small cap. And he's talking about AI. He's talking about gaming. He's talking about like he's
Yeah.
super diversified in his approach. And
Nice.
so when he busts out like this My Lovely Planet thing, I'm like going, God, what is that? He's like, well, it's the same guys that made Candy Crush, and it's killing it. And this is
Right.
the next one, and this is why it's working so well. This is why people are getting hooked on it. And so I really think My Lovely Planet is like a winner. I mean, it's a sleeper,
What exchange you
but
put on?
so anyway, you can get that on Blowfin.
Okay.
It's also on another exchange called Weeks, WEEX,
Mhm.
and there's another exchange called like in Nuet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the to
I'm
the other
looking
one.
at it now in CoinMarketCap and it's up 80% this week.
Right,
80%
right.
week.
Yeah, it's like you need to get on that before it's too
Yeah,
late.
that's insane. And I'm looking at it as an overall, like in the year chart, right? It's peak. It hasn't reached its peak yet, right? So its peak was January this year, which was at $0.9, right? Or about 90 cents, 94 cents.
Oh, at one point it was 90 cents.
Yeah, 94 cents at January.
Wow.
So it's less so much of way to go up there. It's only at 39 cents at the moment. So that's practically 3x if you're holding that till its peak. So if you're saying the creators are the people that created Candy Crush, I'm definitely
Yeah.
bullish on that. I'm definitely bullish on that. So
Right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to when it comes to crypto, when it comes to anything, you got to look at the creators. You look at what they've backed, and I think it's same with investing into stocks and companies.
Yeah. No,
Look
100%.
with the CEOs, and I think I'm very bullish on it. I'll take I'll have a look at this as well. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. I think people would take from it, especially people watching, because we don't. There's people that are watching. That's again, my market is African, right? So people need to get into this space because it's the future. If you want to build generational wealth, start early. Get into these things. You're not putting your whole life savings into it, but at the same time,
I mean, to me, they're almost anything under $1 is like a penny stock, you know?
100%, 100%. It is.
And even, yeah, even Ondo and Algorand, it's called Algo, and they're both pretty cheap as well.
Yes.
So you can get into these things. You know, it's not, even XLM is under $1 or was. What is XLM at right now? Is it 40 or 50 or? I mean, XLM was
That's pricey.
hovering pretty low.
That's pricey. Okay.
So, anyways, I like it when you find stuff you can afford to get into
For
because you
sure.
feel like you want to own a few shares of it. You
And
know,
you
not like Bitcoin.
over.
You're like going to buy like 0.0001 share. You know, and it's like not that sexy, but I think Bitcoin's moving. Let me talk to you about Bitcoin dominance
Okay.
because this guy Peter on House of Crypto. No, actually, it was the other lady. I think I sent you this link. She's called Lab of Crypto, and she
Yeah.
goes like by Lady Show or Lady something. She's kind of Irish blonde. I sent you a link. She's got something that's busting on YouTube right now
Right.
with it's like 4 or 5 zones of crypto. So you start with the altcoin graveyard, which is the gray zone, which is
Yes.
when there's complete Bitcoin dominance.
Yes.
Then the blue zone comes after that when Bitcoin dips between I think like 80 and 60%. So I always thought Bitcoin dominance was a good thing.
Yes.
I always thought as long as Bitcoin's hot is as long as it's moving, everything else will move. Because I
Yeah.
didn't think anything would move without Bitcoin moving. But
100%.
actually things do move without Bitcoin moving, which is now alt season, what they call.
Exactly.
That's what's now alt season. So she was explaining as Bitcoin comes down, like the zones are like gray, blue, green, orange, and red. And at the end, when Bitcoin dominance is like 45%, then she's in the red zone and she's like, okay, I'm selling all my altcoins, like I'm
Right.
out.
Okay.
Because so then you get out there and then Bitcoin is going to kind of like bounce back up into dominance.
Yeah.
So she's got this whole breakdown of like when Bitcoin's 60%, when it's 50%, when it's 70%, like how because her philosophy is, look, if Bitcoin slows down, which basically if Bitcoin dominance slows down, then you're not going to make, say, 2x or 3x. But these altcoins, like My Lovely Planet,
Yes.
so you actually, God forbid, you sell some of your Bitcoin, which is like the
That would
sacred
be great.
egg, right? You actually sell some of the Bitcoin. Maybe let's say your Bitcoin holdings, let's just call it 100% of your Bitcoin holdings. Like I'm ready to sell half of my Bitcoin holdings to get into these things
Okay. Yes.
like My Lovely Planet and Ondo and Algo and HBAR because those guys have so you get out of Bitcoin so you can make 10x or 40x, on this guy. And then you get out of him, you don't write him for 10 years, you write him for the next 3-4 months.
100%.
And then, I mean, do you think the show's over in December or do you think the bull market's going to go past that?
So I think firstly, the way I would say see investing into Bitcoin is basically as you would invest into an ETF or the S&P 500, right? Or buying it.
Yeah. No, Bitcoin's long term.
Exactly. So that's where it's kind of, even though for the most people but for us it's the safe investment, right? Which is crazy for
Here's
people to understand, right? But
here's my problem with Bitcoin, Jared. Is like I never want to sell it. I don't want to take I feel guilty if I take my profit out of
yeah,
Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the sacred Hey,
exactly.
you don't. That's like the lifetime. Like that's gold. Like you don't touch your Bitcoin. So
Yes.
I'd rather play with My Lovely Planet or XRP, and then they
Yeah.
can take my profits, and I don't care.
Yes.
But for me, Bitcoin is like this hollowed ground where like you don't mess around with like selling your Bitcoin ever. But you know,
Uh, I mean, Michael J. Saylor, he says like Bitcoin's gonna go to like 13 mil, bro. That's, but he's predicted these things before. Bitcoin will go to like 100,000 or whatever, and it has. And we thought he's stupid, like, but he's right. So in the long
yeah,
run, like you're saying, like you could sell Bitcoin at now at 100,000, but then it could be at 13 mil, and then the generational wealth is then solid. It's done.
right.
I would say like keep like
I mean,
70%,
to me, Bitcoin's still the king.
100%. But then you have
Bitcoin's still the king. I
yes,
respect it. I believe in it. It is the holy grail.
yes,
But I like I said, I want to like make some money and have some fun.
yes,
So I'm definitely going to go to these middle cap and smaller cap
yes,
ones where there's a higher risk and a higher reward. Just because like I don't want to just sit and watch Bitcoin until I'm 90 and not do
yeah,
anything.
yeah. You asked again, like, do you think the bull run's kind of over? And I think what we've seen is
Yeah. What do you think?
Bitcoin goes in cycles. We've seen the cycle like every 4 years you'll see a big spike and
Right.
but this bull run has been very long, right? It's been growing steadily, like 80 from 80K all the way up to like 120 now, right? Which is crazy for us to think. Um, and the thing is, like, Bitcoin's so bullish. The reason why I say it's so bullish is is because the adoption of Bitcoin. You have big companies like BlackRock, you have JP Morgan, you have all these big banks that are buying, even Trump is buying like Bitcoin. So if everyone is then adopting, especially the big guys, the big banks, if they are then adopting crypto as
Pakistan just flew to El Salvador to learn how to buy Bitcoin from the El
exactly.
Salvador or Ecuador, whoever the guy is in
Yeah,
South
yeah, yeah,
America.
Ecuador, yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, because I think they've adopted Bitcoin full time. I think Ecuador. I think El Salvador. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think it's El Salvador.
Yes, yes. So if that's where it's going, I'm still. I don't think you're gonna have like a long consolidation as we've generally got like the 3 year wait and then stop.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be like that. I think you'll have a gradual push up. Um, and that's why like it's
Okay.
so
Like
difficult.
last week was this week's been a real steady, gradual.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna go from 120 to then 150, 160 automatic. I think you'll just get like a gradual, okay.
Okay.
Oh, and that's kind of the thing. Maybe you'll have
Which is healthy, right?
which is
Isn't that
health,
more healthy?
which is healthy because
It's
again,
more
like
healthy, right?
yes, 100%. So it's a long-term hold again. Maybe you'll get a dip here and there where that's basically how they manipulate stocks even in the stock market, right? Where they'll put out news or you'll have news where like let's say for example, what was a big one? Let's use Trump and Elon Musk, right? Potentially that's fake, right? Potentially, let's say it is fake. They've started fighting with each other, having whatever. That stock tanked like 20%, right? Now, if you're a long time stockholder on Tesla or believe
Which I'm sorry, which stock?
Tesla, right? If you're very heavy on
Has Tesla tanked 30%?
yeah, like 20% at that time because
Right.
they had like Trump
Golly.
and Elon Musk had a fallout. Um, Trump was threatening to pull out funding, like funding to Tesla, which is government funding to Tesla, right? So if that is the case,
Right.
now if he doesn't pull out funding and funding is still there in the long term, even though that could be fake news, now if you buying Tesla stock 20% on discount, let's say it's a discount, um, then you holding that till the end of time, if Tesla is going to be long term. So I think they'll do the same thing when it comes to crypto. They'll have some fake outs where, like, for example, China threatened, said like we're banning like Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin tanked, but then they adopted crypto again. So you have things like that where like you'll have fake news where people will try and bring down the price, or you have a big whale sells it and then buys it again. to make that profit. And that's where you see your entries for Bitcoin. So I always see when you see a big tank, you see it as a discounted price to buy. When people are afraid to buy, that's when you buy.
Do you think
Yeah.
so? So lately, it seems like with all these tariffs and all the
Yes.
external noise going on, like the stock market's been really pretty volatile, and it
Yes.
seems like the crypto market actually has stabilized. Like
Exactly.
it's, I think the crypto used to follow the stock market, like
Yeah.
every reverberation, every spike, every hiccup, every bump. But now it seems like crypto is getting busier with XRP getting assimilated,
Yes.
more solid, and so they don't really they don't respond the way the stock market responds. It seems like,
100%. Yeah, I
which
think
is great.
so people then are thinking that crypto is safer, right? So you need to follow the money, right? So whenever people are so if people are looking at the stock market, if they think that there's a lot of volatility and the stock market could crash, right? Um, the guy that shorted the housing market in 2008, uh,
Right.
Michael Burry or something like that. He shorted Nvidia and he shorted uh, basically AI in tech, right? And he's very heavy on that. So if he shorted that, there's a lot of people that are then scared amongst that market. So where are they looking to store their money for long-term gain? They then are looking to newer stuff like crypto. You're looking at your Bitcoin, you look at your Ethereum, and that's why we see things like this are pushing up because if they're seeing that as another option, investment option, then they're going to look to that. Whereas people would then turn to gold, maybe some of them still do. Maybe put 50% into gold, but then they put the other 50% into uh, crypto. And that's what we're seeing that's happening in the space. So people are turning to crypto. They see it as an actual investment and not just a gamble.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the turning point, I would say. Um, yeah, man. Let's come back to your Coinbase story.
Okay. So basically, the Coinbase thing,
Yes.
and it's I lied. I lied, and I told Coinbase I had lived in America. Okay, and I
Yes.
was living here. I was living in South Africa, and my buddy said, "Look, you really need to get into Bitcoin. Use
Yes.
this exchange." Like he kind of walked me through it. And I was just like, "Okay." So my brother lives in Utah, so I used his address, and I told Bitcoin, "Okay, look, I'm living in Utah. Here's my address." And I still actually don't tell Bank of America, but I still have my Bank of America account. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because like I've been with them since 1980,
Right.
and I needed a Bank in America. I mean, my pension goes to my Bank of America.
Yeah.
So even though technically, if they knew that I lived in South Africa, so I'm a liar. I'm guilty. I'm sinful. So, anyways, Coinbase finally figured out that my what is it, my URL or my
The IP
IRL?
address.
Yeah, the IP address. So Coinbase finally says, "Hang on, where are you?" And
Yes.
I'm like, "Oh, well," and they say, "Well, it looks like you're in South Africa." And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And they're like, "Well, do you live in South Africa now?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And they said, "Well, we don't offer Coinbase in South Africa,
Okay.
and so we're just gonna like hold your account." And here, this is like kind of a long, boring story, but real quickly. So now compliance got involved. They're like, "Okay, who is this guy?"
Mm.
Right? Because they think I'm from Nigeria. Like,
Okay. Okay.
so the default is, okay, we don't know who this guy is. He's got this account. He's probably Nigerian.
Yes.
No offense, Jeremiah. So 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 now I have to go through compliance. And here's the problem, Jared. So in America, like if you have a driver's license in the states, okay, every state has a driver's license, and
Right.
every state it has your picture, your full name, and your address.
Yes.
Okay, right there on your driver's license. There's nothing in South Africa that has those three components.
Yes.
My driver's license here, well, you can't even read them; they look like shit. And
Yeah.
my picture is like barely, and then they use DD Morin instead of my full name, and there's no
Okay.
address. So I
Yeah.
can't use my and then my passport even has my full name and a picture, but no address. And
Right.
then I'm a permanent resident here, but that doesn't have my address with my name and so I don't have like they can't verify me.
Yes.
And then I send them, even if I send them a bank statement, ABSA doesn't use your full name, they use your initials. So like every time I turned around, I'm like, like even like my municipality bill from Cape Town,
Yes.
like it says D Morin, like I can't get my full name on it.
Mm.
So whether it's your like my Best Med insurance or my Santam, like all
Yeah.
my insurance, all my muni bills, all my bank statements, everything that says I live in South Africa, I can't verify because it doesn't have my full name.
Yes.
And you can't get your address with a photo ID on it. So now you're like submitting like all these different documents, and compliance is like, yeah, sure. So then they finally unfroze me long enough for me to like get a trust wallet. Starting like all my money was on the exchange, so I started. I made about in 1 hour. I think I transferred like 4 or 5 wallets, like as a test. Like
Okay.
I transferred like half of my whatever. Let's say I had XRP, so I transferred half of my XRP. Well, I did a little test and I transferred half of it into the trust wallet.
Yes.
Now Coinbase is like, okay, danger.
Yes.
What's all this? So now they lock me again. So I can't buy, I can't sell, I can't send, I can't receive, and I can't cash out.
Yes.
It's like, you're a security risk. We're going to investigate. And
Yes.
they sat on me
Oh my.
from February till July.
No ways.
And so there was one moment. And so basically, I was so defeated. I was just like, I'm stuck. I had like about $80,000
Oh
sitting there
my
in
goodness.
Coinbase, and I couldn't move it.
Yeah.
So then it was just like, okay, this is really bad. And then there's a law firm here in Cape Town, Smith Advocates. I met with them, and we were trying to put together an affidavit for compliance, proving that I was who I said I was.
Yes.
So I was chatting. The whole thing with Coinbase is like, you can't call anybody.
Yes.
Well, you can, I guess, call somebody in the States, but that number wouldn't work for me. They could tell you that you're not. And then anybody else you talk to is a bot.
Yes.
So even you're chatting with them online and it's all bots. So I'm going crazy. So finally I had a case number and they investigated, and then that took months before they finally said, okay, well, sorry, you're still not verified in our system or whatever it was. So then I finally wrote to them and I said, look, here's my case number, and just tell me what you need, because I'm working with my lawyers and we're trying to draft something that. And so once they saw that like I had hired a law
Oh,
firm,
yeah.
they said, oh, you know what? Good news. We've unfrozen your account. You're able to send.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. Great. So then,
Ah,
so then, um, then I start sending again. What else happened on that? Oh, okay. So now I'm sending, but so I'm trying to send to like Valor, or it wouldn't take my wallet addresses. Coinbase wouldn't. Like, so I was only able to send on one platform for
yeah.
them, which I think was like a Solana.
Okay.
And so my first test to send was I sent through the one. There was like 4 options, and they can't. I couldn't use any of them to send except Solana. So I sent Solana to my Trust wallet. Oh, and what I did do, even as it was frozen, I sold all of my assets into USDC.
Yes.
Because I thought it'd be easier for them just to let me get off the exchange
Yes.
if I just had USDC.
Yeah.
So that was sitting there not making any money, just sitting there. So then I send $30,000 of USDC via the Solana chain
Yeah.
to my Solana Trust wallet. Gone, poof, disappears.
My days.
So Coinbase is like, no, on our side it says it got there, and
Oh,
then Trust Wallet is like showing nothing. So then, after some deep diving, there was like a way to pull up like a USDC wallet on Trust, and then that was embedded. So the Solana trade, it went as one item. So instead of $30,000, it was just like there was one item that said $0.
oh way.
But the one item was the USDC token, which you then had to unpack and open
Mm.
up. So, anyways, I was like, within 48 hours, I figured out how to find it, unpack it. So then it did go into my Solana. So then
Yeah.
it did show up on my trust. Anyway, long story short, I got all my money out of Coinbase like on the 4th or 5th of July.
Yeah.
I got it into trust. And then I already had something set up on Luno and Valor. And I put all of that cash back into the market. And then the next day, the market started pumping.
Wow.
So praise the Lord.
Yeah,
Like I
that you
got
got
that
it out of that.
favor.
Yeah.
That was like the timing of that was like unbelievable because I would have missed that whole pump. It just would
Yeah.
have been sitting in the stable coin. I would have been stuffed.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was like so I've done really well this month
Yeah.
just because I'm in the market. So yeah, that was a big help. Big help.
Um, I'm just looking at something quickly. Because I'm not a big fan of Luno, right? Because Luno takes, from what I know, I'm just double checking, but Luno takes about like um 2% per transaction.
Oh wow.
Yes. So
Okay,
that
let me ask you this. This is a good question. This is a good question, and for all your listeners out there, what likelihood of your exchange getting hacked? I
so
mean, I'm in Luno and Valor, and maybe
yeah.
I'm all about diversifying your exchanges.
Yeah.
So if it, but it seems like it's like I think that's like unreasonably hyped. Like, is it's going to happen? You better get off, or you better get that cold storage
Well,
because
well, look
then
at
your wallet might get hacked. You need 5 wallets. Like, what do
yeah.
you use?
Well, look at
How many wallets do you have?
so I use Binance and I use
Okay.
um Binance is so good for um transactions, right? So Binance like instant payment. So they have that. Then you also have a bunch of other stuff like I can make a Bitcoin payment to you now and it'll come to you instantly with Bitcoin Lightning, right? So I have this mate Mayor who runs Orange,
Is
which is
that on Binance?
so it's kind of you can use it on Binance, right? So he
What's
basically
it called? Bitcoin? What? Sorry.
Bitcoin Lightning,
Oh wow.
Lightning payment. So you could get by like Bitcoin payments or like transactions instantly with like minimal transaction cost, right?
Wow.
So that's kind of the future, right? So Binance allows you to do these things. Binance also has a Binance to Binance payment method, which is very quick. So I keep it for that. And also if I do trading and if I get payouts through crypto, I'll get it through Binance because I trust Binance and it'll go directly into my Absa account quick. So that's why I have Binance. I can hold stuff there as well. Then South African exchange, I very much recommend Valor. Valor's pretty solid. I use Altcoin Trader and Altcoin Trader is kind of similar to Valor, where you're just holding
I
crypto.
don't like the interface on altcoin trader. I
It
think
doesn't
it's
look that
like
great. It doesn't look that
it's
great.
really boring, man. It's
Very boring, but
terrible.
it does the
I'm like
job.
a big visual guy. Like I want it to look cool.
Yeah, so I was using Altcoin Trader since like 2020. So
Yeah,
because
no, same. Altcoin trader was my first one I got into as well. My Binance problem was there's Binance and then there's Binance USA.
yes,
So Binance serves South Africa,
yes,
but I didn't have my. I'm not a citizen of South Africa, and I didn't have my. I'm supposed to get an ID booklet because I'm a permanent resident now, but I don't have my ID booklet. So I don't have a South African identification number.
yes, 100%.
So Binance is like, okay, look, you're not South African.
Yes,
You have a US passport. You
happy.
can't open a Binance account. Then I go to Binance USA and it says, well, you don't have a proof of address in America, so you can't use Binance
Okay,
USA.
that's it.
So I fell between the cracks. I'm like, crikey, I can't even use either one of these.
Yeah, no, I get you. That definitely makes sense.
What about Robinhood? Do you like Robinhood?
I see. I'm South African, so I can't use Robinhood.
Oh, okay. I can't either then. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I actually wanted to use Robinhood for stocks and crypto and stuff, but unfortunately, South Africans.
But you know what? Like I'm telling you, this Blowfin, Blofin, Blowfin and Weeks, Weex, they both are like non-compliant. So you can be anywhere in the world. And this guy Peter on House of Crypto, he said, look, there's three exchanges that carry all of these small cap
Okay. Yeah.
coins that like I'm crazy about. So that's really good to know. Like I feel like maybe that's my little trade secret, you know, like if I can get on these exchanges and we all jump on my lovely planet and whatever else, you know, he had another AI coin that I forget. I think I wrote it down, but he had another coin for AI that was really good. You know what? I'll send you, he's got his bag. He had a screenshot of his bag. I'll send you his bag
Appreciate
and
that.
you can see what he's into.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying talking to you. This is really
yeah,
really cool. Like
okay.
I only know like three people that own crypto. I mean, like you know, in my real life, like nobody owns any crypto.
Yeah,
Only 6% of the planet owns crypto.
you know, very insane.
That's insane.
Yeah, uh, very insane. We'll definitely keep in contact and chat, and whatever I come across or whatever you come across, we'll just share.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Um, I do this thing on the channel where we have like rapid ten questions that we go through. So basically be
Sure,
like a
sure.
yes or no or like a quick answer. So we'll go
Okay.
through that segment now. So the first one would be, would you rather lose your crypto wallet or your acting career?
Oh, you can take my acting career.
You've been
No,
in.
my acting career has been over for a long time.
Uh,
You
no,
know, I mean, I think my acting career peaked when I was like 40, 45, and then, you know, a day you do a couple of days on Kissing Booth. That's not an acting career. You know what I mean?
oh, perfect. Have you ever rag pulled or rag sold a meme coin and watched it move the next day?
I'm sorry. Say that again. Have I done what?
So have you ever bought a coin and
Yeah,
sold it, but then the next day you check it and it just skyrocketed and it went to the moon?
I've never sold anything.
Okay, is it?
Never sold anything. Haven't
Wow.
sold anything.
Wow, that's crazy. Um, so let's say you're stuck in an island, right? Let's what would be one coin you would need to survive?
Well, I mean, to me, I think Bitcoin is the life preserver.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
that's the safety jacket. That's the life vest. To me, the Bitcoin's the life vest. Like you said, it's decentralized. You know, it's there's 21 million. That's it. I mean, I think everything else can kind of come in and out with the tide, but
yeah,
Bitcoin would be my pillar, my rock.
yes. Perfect. I definitely agree on that. Uh, what's the biggest L you've taken in crypto? Would that be, and then did you end up crying? With
My
that,
biggest loss
yes,
is that
would that be your Coinbase experience?
yeah, gosh, that Coinbase. I woke up every day depressed for like 5 months because you're
Yeah,
just like computer says no, and then you're like that's game over, right?
yes,
Um, well, when I sold everything on Coinbase to get into the USDC,
yeah,
that hurt because then I was stuck in USDC and I wasn't earning anything with I wasn't riding the market for about 3 months. So I'd say that was probably the biggest loss was being frozen in time in Coinbase.
yeah,
You know, I've been lucky. I haven't had any really big swings and misses. You know, what I've been pretty blue chip. Solana,
yeah,
Cardano, you know, XRP, XLM, Bitcoin. Like I've had some really good blue chip stuff. And it's only now I'm kind of getting braver and moving into sort of
mm,
outer waters with the smaller cap stuff. But I'm having, to me, that's kind of, it's getting to be a lot more fun to
yes.
play with these little guys that nobody's heard of. And you just kind of track them and going, oh, wow, that looks great. I'm glad I have you now because I can run stuff by you and go, what do you think?
Yeah, because I'll look at the technical side as well. I'm like, yeah, it looks good. I think yeah, what you're saying is definitely valid. I think the best thing that you do is that you don't like buy and then look to sell the next week or so. You buy and you hold. And people lose out because they'll buy a particular cryptocurrency, it'll go down 10%, and then they're scared it's gonna go to zero, and then they lose money there.
Yeah.
That's the biggest, I think, mistake in crypto in investing. And
You
you'll
know, I've got a buddy in LA, my writing partner in LA. We made a movie together and we've been mates forever. And I finally got him to buy some XRP for his kids. and he was like calling me every day, moaning and whinging
Um,
about it. Like, "Ugh." I'm like going, shut up. Like, get your big girl panties on and just hold.
100%.
Like, hodl. Like,
Huddle. Yeah,
don't, don't worry. Like, don't, there's no selling. You're
exactly.
in. Like, just shut up and ride it out. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. Like, I promise
100%.
you.
100%. Um, if someone offered you $500,000 to never buy crypto again, would you take it?
Oh, wow.
Big question, right?
Bird in the hand, eh?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I
You know,
wouldn't take it. I
huddle.
wouldn't take it.
Yeah,
I believe there's a lot of money to be made in crypto,
yeah,
and I believe it's going to happen in the next 6 months.
yeah, definitely.
So I mean, everybody talks about this whole generational wealth boom. I'm I'm drinking that Kool-Aid, and I think the time to own and hold and be in, and then everybody can leave in January. But I think now there's some like, here's my problem, Jerry. It's like when the market pumps for one day, I'm like, oh, awesome. And then it goes another day, oh, awesome. Another third day, oh, awesome. Then the fourth day is like a little bit of a hiccup and it dips. I'm like, oh, it's over. Oh, we're
Yeah,
sunk. Oh, it's, you know what I mean? I'm so fatalistic about it. Like, I don't have a lot of hope in it. But
yeah.
when it starts to tick, I'm like, yes. And then when it starts to tick down,
Finally.
I'm like, oh, we're finished. But
Do
I'm the original emotion guy. Like, I'm not technical. So
yeah,
my dad was a thinker. I'm a feeler. So I'm a
yeah,
total feeler. So everything I own is based on feel, which is
yeah,
completely stupid and irrational. But that's just how my operating system is feel. So,
yeah,
you know, if I like the meme coin logo, if I like the Doge dog or the
yeah,
Shiba
yeah,
coin,
yeah. Yeah.
it's so stupid. But
If you were to tattoo a coin on on yourself, what would it be?
that's a
Um,
great question.
uh, and where would you tattoo it?
You know what? I probably would do something like fairly cheesy and innocuous, like My Lovely Planet,
Nice,
and I
nice.
and I might just do one right here
Yeah. Okay,
because I think that's a great name, and I think it's going to perform really well,
actually,
and and I think we should be better stewards of our planet. So yeah,
um,
I'm
yeah,
not really the XRP Army. We salute you guy. You know what I
yes,
mean? Like, I'm not. I'm core, but I'm not hardcore like
yes,
XRP.
yes. And I think let's go last question. Have you ever pretended
These
to?
are great questions.
Yeah, have you ever
Sorry,
pretended?
go ahead.
Have you ever pretended to understand a crypto concept and then afterwards you Google it?
Yeah, probably like every day. Because like I don't know what I'm talking about, and I've been googling a lot more lately. There's a new thing I just heard. That's why I kind of want to start my own channel, because I feel like I can talk to retired people not as the know-it-all, but kind
Yeah,
of as the conveyor of information. Like, I listen to this guy, I listen to this
yeah.
guy. Here's a hot tip for Lovely Planet. Da da da. Oh shoot, man, I forgot what I was just going to say. What did you ask again? The
Also, have you pretended to
Oh,
uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So someone was talking about ISO.
okay.
Like, there's these, so it's like there's some like these coins that are ISO
Yeah.
are gonna do better because they're registered or they're ISO'd. Or
Hmm.
have you heard that bit? If you Google what are the ISO coins, I think it'll say like XLM, Ethereum. Like, there's like a four or five that you've heard of.
Hmm.
But if they're ISO, they're already pre-approved for by the SEC or by somebody important. I
Um,
have to. Can you find it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like you said, XRP, XLM, Algo. So all the ones that you're talking about, Cardano as well. So it's basically like the financial messaging network. So coins that will be used practically, I think, for payments, and that I think that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
If I'm
So I
wrong.
mean, I think those are safer bets because they're all ISO
Yes, even
for our
using
listen for our listeners out there.
100%. What does ISO mean? ISO is International Standard of Electronic Data Exchange between financial institutions. So definitely, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the segment. Um,
Okay, cool.
Perfect. I think we're gonna end the podcast there. But yeah, David, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Really appreciate you taking your time out of your day to come on, have a chat about crypto. And even if it wasn't on a podcast, I really enjoyed the conversation. It was definitely exciting. I've learned a lot.
You know what? Bring me back in 6 months, and then we'll see
I'm
if
so
I've
keen.
bought my plane yet.
I'm so
See if
keen.
I've bought my Bentley.
I'm so keen. And maybe the next one we'll do in person. I'll have a podcast studio and we'll just
I hope you do. That would be awesome. I would love that.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that would really be great.
this is the aim. But yeah, David,
All right, man. Pleasure. Thank you very much. I
yes,
really
uh,
I love like finally meeting you, seeing you in person,
yes, yes,
and you're so knowledgeable. I love it.
yes. Is there anything that you want to shout out or people to follow you at or check you out at?
You know what? Yeah, I guess I'm kind of for 40 years I was a Hollywood actor who never did any live theater.
Yes,
And last year I started getting itchy feet going, you know what, you need to prove yourself because you're a gutless, spineless screen actor. So I want everybody to go to my website. It's called Papa Hem Show
yes,
for Papa Hemingway Show. So go to www.papahemshow.com. And that's the one-man show that I birthed this year. I wrote it, I acted it, I directed it, and we're actually going to be taping it next Tuesday. I want you to come to the taping. It's going to be at the Royal Cape Yacht Club. And Jeremiah saw it there already.
nice, nice.
So, anyways, the Papa Hem Show. Take a look. Yeah, kind of that's my project for the year, and
Yes,
maybe my new crypto channel if I get around
yes,
to opening that. I'm really loving the crypto thing, man. It's like I want to just listen to it every day and learn more and more. And
yes.
you should do a seminar on trading. People would
Yeah,
sign up, man. Like, let us sign up and pay you for like a 3 hour trading course. Because, man, if I could make money leveraging, if I knew what I was doing, that would
yeah,
definitely be awesome.
definitely, definitely. But thank you so much
Okay.
for being on the podcast. Everything will be linked in the description, guys. Make sure you like, you subscribe. Thank you again so much, David.
Awesome. Cheers.